Salton Sea. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe. Today we'll be going over Salton Sea and how it plays with 2 players. Now Salton Sea is a 1 to 4 player competitive game where you will be, well, trying to get this brine, extract this brine from the ground to get the most profitable company, to have the most victory points at the end of the game. You're going to be getting these claims, drilling down and getting brine, turning it into lithium, geothermal energy, building up your storage areas, getting more research, fulfilling contracts, making sure that your stocks are in the right place. So at the end of the game, that you fulfilled the main goals, and as a culmination of all that, whoever has the most points wins the game. So let's see a little bit more how to play. So in this game, it's a little bit of everything. Everybody starts off with the same resources, the same things in their hand. There's not really an asymmetrical start to this game. You're going to start with 1 brine, and what you do with that brine is all up to you. Every card you have is going to double as money or double as an action that you can do. It's kind of worker placement. You're going to start off with these 4 workers and put them around your board, all while trying to upgrade some of these different tracks. But some of these things are going to cost money. So you start off with 7 cards that are 7 individual actions, or it'll be $7. And you can use those money to repair some of the things, to buy a new claim so you can drill further and get more brine. You'll eventually want to turn that brine into these other resources, lithium or geothermal energy, to sell on the stock market. So really it's a worker placement game. You will be getting research. You'll be trying to build up your storage. And in every worker placement game, the further you advance across this kind of development track, you'll be able to get more storage and get more workers. More workers mean you can do more actions on your turn, but how much do you want to sacrifice to get there? Do you play the stock markets quick? Because some of these can move up. So in this game, worker placement, hand management, the backs of the cards are money. There's so much to this game. I'm sure you're ready to see what I thought about the game. So the rules and references in Salton Sea are pretty good. I didn't have a problem with the rule book. Some of the actions are explained very well in there. I really like the back of the book has a description of every single card in the game and exactly what it does. And I love that. Sure, it adds a little bit of bulk to the rule book, but man, it's such a good way to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we know exactly what every icon on the card means. It does come with some pretty good references too, which are pretty good. The components themselves are fine. The cards are this kind of linen kind of stock. I like that. There's a lot of cards and it looks pretty neat on the table. One thing I will give it a thumbs up for is it did give you 5 or so rule books in different languages in this box. So all of the languages come in the box and everybody's going to get those. So no language on the board, but there is enough rule books in this to make sure that everybody can play. So setup and table size. The setup will take you a moderate amount of time. You have to shuffle some cards, get everything, put all the stocks together. And it'll take you about 10, maybe 15 minutes to get all set up and ready to go. Table size won't take a ton. The board itself is small, but you are going to have to lay out a side of the board. There's going to be 4 columns of cards for 2 players, and with more, your table size is going to grow. 3x3 would really be crunching it for this. 4x4 would be great, and especially if you can sit side by side so nobody has to read upside down. So let's get into the gameplay, the actual nuts and bolts of this game. And, I didn't do a great job of explaining this game because you just don't get a good sense of it for how many actions you can do. Everything is very simple. You do a certain action on your player board. You have about 8 actions you can do, and you're going to do those exact same actions on these cards. The benefit of these cards, though, is they are going to give you like a boost to that action. The problem is if you use it and put a worker on it and you get to keep it for the, for the turn and for future, one, that card can't be used for its money, so you're using your resources, down there, and you have to spend and kind of decide what other cards you want to pay for that card with, if it cost anything. At the end of the round, you are going to take all your workers back, and you do get all the cards that you put your workers on, and that's how you kind of grow and kind of keep your money. But it's such a good, interesting just mechanic as a whole. The workers, the only way to get these upgraded cards are to sell your brine. And you could sell your brine for pretty cheap or upgrade it to lithium and geothermal energy. But I'm gonna be honest, that costs money. So it takes money to, you need to spend money to make money. Well, in this game, you need to spend money to make your to maybe drill or overwork the workers a little bit, but you're gonna sell them to these corporations. Do you wanna buy stock in some of these corporations? So at the end of the game, you bought a lot of that stock, you kind of ran up the price a little bit, but you also bought shares of that stock. It's just, there's 8 actions in this game. They're all straightforward, whether it's get a research that lets you do actions better, do contracts, turn in this amount of brine, lithium, or geothermal energy to get these amount of victory points. There is, just going up on these stock tracks. There's investing, in the stock tracks. There's drilling down. There's getting a land claim that you're going to have to drill down, and that's how you get the brine. There's the upgrade track, which helps you do the storage. So there's a whole bunch of, everything is straightforward, but there's a depth in this game of what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Oh, I want to do this, but I can't do this without doing this other action. It really plays on each other. You only have so many actions. The game will end when all these claims are done, or 2 of these companies have reached the top, but that's never happened for us. Usually it's the claims in a 2-player game. But there's so many actions I want to do, but there's only so many actions I can do as far as the optimal move. And it really leaves you burning. There is a high amount of AP in this game. It's what do I want to buy? How do I want to maximize my turn? And this game is good for the person who wants to maximize everything about the gameplay, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, the icons are there. Everything's intuitive. I really enjoy the gameplay loop of this game and upgrading the cards. And hopefully by the end you have a lot of money. So I know I've been rambling quite a bit, but overall the gameplay, what I would say is thick. There's a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of choice. There's a lot of avenues to make victory points. And there's just a lot to this game, even though the actions may be simple. So I rambled on about the gameplay, but how does this actually play for 2? And I really like this for 2. Like I said, though, there is a lot of high AP. There is a lot of analysis paralysis by somebody. Somebody can really take their time, decide what they're going to do, while the other person just, they can think about their turn. But the analysis can be, or the paralysis can be there because the analysis is so high. Which brings me on to my next point is the interaction isn't the best. I've played this solo a couple times as well. I've really enjoyed it solo, but I can take my time. It actually plays very well solo, even on the easy mode. I still really haven't been able to win, but it's a really good time because I can take my time and not feel like I am slowing anybody else down. But 2 players, this plays really well. I like to see what the other person's doing, what cards they're going to do, what are they kind of working toward. There can be a take that on what cards they take, but other than that, there's not really a whole lot of interaction. Do they make it up the track first and steal that one upgrade, chit that you really want? Did they take that card that you really want? But that's about it. There's no stealing action spaces, more of taking cards and positioning yourself on these company tracks. So gameplay plays really well at 2. It will take you a little bit. Every person you add is going to add more and more time. This game took us about an hour and a half. Solo, I could get maybe an hour 15 or so. It really depends on how much I'm really thinking about the game. But this is one of those games you can think about and really optimize your turns. And I really like that about this game. It's not for everybody. The theme isn't the most exciting, but everything plays well. Everything connects really well. Really well produced game. Really lovely game. Gonna be tough to get off the shelf all the time. The replayability is like middle of the road, but it's a great game. It's one of those that's gonna be really tough for me to go, oh, I had a great time with Salton Sea. Salton Sea is a great game, but it's tough for me to get that really fun factor, that it factor for me. But if you're looking for a nice, heavy game that's simple to play, this is really your game. Plays really well with 2, plays really well with 1. With 3 or 4, I could really see the game slowing down, so it would not be for me at the higher player counts. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed a little bit of this. I know it was all over the place, but worker placement, hand management, money or actions, depending on what side you use, company tracks, point salad, a lot of ways to score, a lot of ways to win this game, and really a whole lot of fun, there's a good game in here. The fun factor for me is kind of, at that point of being good and just okay, but a really, really good game. So that's my take on the 2-player version of Salton Sea. Hope you guys have a good one. Until next time.